Does anyone have a question? This meditation process is really about getting freedom, and it's not, I mean, one person we truly have to get free of to attain a state of freedom is ourselves. And people talk about economic freedom, they talk about racial freedom and all the religious freedom. All of that's well and good. But until a human being learns how to build a system inside to connect themselves with higher energy in the universe, all of those freedoms do not get down to the crux of the matter. And what is that? We need to learn how to truly become people that live in an enlightened way. We have to be free of all the hindrances within ourselves that keep us from doing it. And until a person manages to do that, they really are a slave to their own problems. And of course, the meditation is about building a system that enables us to do that. It takes time, it takes patience, and it takes a real need, a sense of purpose to become one with God, to open to higher energy, to detach ourselves from all the things that go on in this world. And in order to do that, we have to be attached to something. So the goal is to connect with higher energy in the universe, or God, or whatever one wants to call it, and keep, drawing that energy, becoming a child of God, And that really is the key, because that energy will build a system inside everybody that will truly give them freedom. Has nothing to do with race or religion or, anything of that nature. I mean, if a person is free of themselves, they will honor everybody's race and everybody's religion, everybody's country. They're not going to walk around starting wars. I mean, these are people that are so imprisoned inside themselves that the only way they know how to get free of that prison is striking out at other people. But a person who lives with their heart open, with love inside them, with gratitude, with a connection to spirit, war would end here. People would just live that way. But of course, very few people do live that way. And there's not only all these wars that go on between countries, there's wars that go on in families and friendships, in business and work, and only because people are not free of themselves. And until they learn how to do this, there's always going to be one form of war or another. Just even the war that goes on inside a human being. Endless conflict, endless tension, emotions, mental stuff, trying to learn how to live at peace with oneself. So the real secret of freedom is to get free of oneself. You get free of oneself. You live with your heart open, with love, you're balanced, your mind is quiet. There'll be nothing but respect for life. Life is God's creation, and one will learn how to respect that. But if those wars and battles are going on inside us, we look out at the world and it intimidates us, it threatens us. And, it's going to, and we don't have that strength inside to truly look at the world and understand that all of it is part of our teacher. It's God's creation. And we can learn from it how every day of our lives to grow and get real freedom. And real freedom really only happens when you take your samadhi, All of life is kind of a struggle. It's always struggling against something. There's always something that comes along to test us as human beings. But a gradual, incremental growth inside oneself, getting closer and closer to that state of consciousness that truly enables us to embrace the teachings of life, the teachings of God, the teachings of other human beings, learning what our position is in life and being able to embrace that and not be intimidated by all the nonsense that goes on in the world. The first step is getting free of oneself. And the closer and closer you get to that freedom, the less intimidating life will be. The less need there is to be in conflict with other people. The more respect one will have for the way other people live and their religion and their races. And look, I thought in the 1960s, we had made major steps to overcome racial problems in America. And, it's worse today than it was in the 1960s. Only because people haven't changed inside themselves. So you have all of that madness that goes on in the world that requires deep and profound inner change. This meditation is about that, learning to change in daily life and working out our karma, learning how to connect with spirit and working out our karma and getting our freedom by being connected to higher energy in the universe. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask? And the hardest thing about this is taking full responsibility for oneself and stop blaming the world for one's problems. This is one of the most difficult things to do. Take full responsibility. All right, I will learn to fix them by fixing me. I can't fix the world out there. It's been crazy since Adam and Eve left the Garden of Eden. It really has. Cain and Abel, and read the Bible, it's total insanity. The wars, the fighting, the this, the prejudice, the racial, the religious stuff. It's unbelievable. And yet, the whole incredible thing about books like the Bible, it's all about human beings evolving from Adam and Eve to the Messiah. And how do you evolve from Adam and Eve to the Messiah? You got to build an inner life that can do it. So it's all about the building of an inner life. That the Bhagavad Gita, the Bible, all of these books are about that. When you begin to read the levels beneath the levels in those books, it's from paradise to the Messiah. And then in between, you have this huge book of problems that people have. And how do you get, what is the Messiah? It's really people becoming enlightened in themselves, becoming one with higher energy in the universe. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask? I know I belabor the point, but I think it's a good point. about learning how to become one with oneself and learning how to become one with God by fixing all of the problems that exist inside us. Does anyone have a question? And that's all this meditation is about. This meditation is not a religion. It's not a cult. You can be any religion you want to be. There's no, whatever your past is, whatever your country is, whatever your allegiance, it's all fine, It's all this meditation is about fixing oneself, overcoming blocks, tensions, problems we have inside, emotional, mental, sexual, et cetera, et cetera.
Stuart, I have a question.
Yes, Lisa.
Hi. It's when I've got this belief inside of me that even tensions, I feel like if I'm letting go of tensions, I'm rejecting some part of existence or some part of someone or some part of myself. I have this hang up that blocks me and I don't know why.
Look, it's not a matter of letting go of tension. Understand? It's transforming the tension into energy that nurtures you inside, learning how to do that. So you're not just walking away from the tension. You are learning how to bring that tension into the chakra below the navel, transforming it into chi. Once it becomes chi, you can move that energy through the sex. It will activate the kundalini and give you a spiritual life. My teacher always had the analogy, tension is like compost. If you bury it in the ground and use it, you produce great tomatoes and organic this and organic that. If you don't transform it, it becomes garbage and it rots. So that's what tension is. It eats people alive. But in this meditation, you can master your tension. You can take the thing that's killing you and use it to transform itself into life-giving energy. By learning how to use the will, the mind to draw that tension to the chakra right below the navel. So you're not walking away from the tension. You're not even letting it go. You're using it to build an inner life. And God knows we all have enough of it. Huh? Yeah. So it's not something negative. It's something positive if you use it this way, tension. I remember once somebody asked Rudy, why do you always wear orange? So Rudy said, well, it's the color of surrender. And they said, well, what are you surrendering? And he just looked at them with a little smile on his face, tension. I'm learning how to transform my tension into life-giving energy. So, as I said, what's killing you begins to, and then tension is no longer a negative thing, something you can use. And the Kundalini is like an incinerator. It'll burn all of your tension up. And then I promise you there'll be more. There's always tension. But you have mastered your inner self and you've learned how to use it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's these subtleties that I get snagged on, and now everything's making more and more sense gradually. Thank you.
Oh, Lisa, that's why you're here and you come to these classes. My job is to teach you all this stuff. I learned it. My job is to pass it on to people so they can use it to benefit their lives every day. What's the good of me learning all this stuff if I can't give it away? It has to be given away. Otherwise, I walk around knowing all these things, and and you look in people's eyes, and there's all this unhappiness and pain, and if they learn this, they can fix all that stuff. But you can't go around and become, get on a soapbox and preach Kundalini yoga. People have to arrive at a place where they need to really learn. And then they wind up coming to classes like this with me or somebody else. My job is to give it away. That's it. I'm not getting any younger. And this is an extraordinary thing I've learned, and I need to give it away to people that want to take it, that want to learn it.
Thank you.
Unconditionally. I have no conditions. Well, maybe I have come to meditation classes. Only condition, because if you don't come, I can't do anything to help you. Come to the classes. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, well, thank you. God bless you all. And there'll be a class on Thursday, and I'm looking forward to seeing everyone. And bless you, and have a wonderful day or evening. And again, you all make me work very hard on myself. I am so grateful to each and every person who comes to these classes. And I say that with all humility, not wanting any kind of position in my life, just simply gratitude that each and every one of you, by your presence here, is really forcing me to work so deep in myself to connect with God. And that's all I want in my life. So I have to have deep and profound gratitude to each and every person that attends these classes. God bless you all. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all on Thursday.
Bless you. Thank you.
You.